Hello students, welcome to another session of All Force e-learning program. In today's session, we shall evaluate a formula for the electric field intensity due to a dipole on the axial line. So our today's topic is electric field intensity, by a dipole on its axial line. So this is today's topic. Let us evaluate a formula for it, right? So before going to this, let us have a preview of what we learned. Now, why actually I am giving you the preview of the earlier things, because what you have learned in the earlier classes will be applied to study the next class. We'll be applying those concepts to study the next thing, to understand the next thing. For example, in this topic, what are the basic things what we have learned in the earlier class which are required to understand this evaluation? First, let us go point by point. Electric means charge. Electric is the Greek word given actually to a charge. So for a charge, there is a charge. Electric field, every charged body produces field around it. The space around the charge where the effect of the charge can be felt, experienced, is electric field. Intensity, electric field intensity, it is the measure of the strength of the field. What is the strength of the field? Measure of the strength. So it is actually defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point. So electric field intensity, it is the strength of the field. It is actually the force that is experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point. By a dipole. So in the previous class we were studying a dipole. Dipole is a combination of two equal and opposite entities separated by some distance. Equal and opposite entities. Here it is electric dipole. So charges, two equal and opposite charges separated by a small and a finite fixed definite distance. That is an electric dipole, right? On its axial line. Now what is axial line actually? So let us understand what is an axial line. When I consider a dipole, so dipole is a combination of two equal and opposite charges separated by a small and finite distance. This is the electric dipole. Minus q plus q distance is t like this, right? This is the midpoint of the dipole. In general, we know the axis of a body. Axis is a line, an imaginary line passing through the center of mass or center of the body. For a uniform body, it is the center or center of mass of the body, which can be easily rotated about that point. So axis is an imaginary line. Now here axial line means the line passing through the midpoint of the dipole, connecting both the charges, both the poles. Any line joining both the poles. Axis of earth, north pole to south pole. Magnetic axial line, axial line of a magnet, line joining the north and south pole. Now here it is the line joining the negative and positive charge passing through the midpoint. Now this line, the line passing through the midpoint and joining the negative and positive charge of a dipole, both the charges. Now this line is termed as axial line, right? So electric field intensity by a dipole on its axial line. Sometimes it is technically termed as end-on position. It is sometimes even spelled as end-on position. When a dipole is placed like this, a point on the axial line, it is the end-on position for this respective dipole, right? So therefore, an electric dipole, combination of two equal and opposite charges separated by a small and a finite distance, right? Like this fixed distance, midpoint of the dipole. The line joining the charges passing through the midpoint. Now this line is termed as axial line, right? So now in this session we are going to evaluate a formula for the electric field intensity by the electric dipole on the axial line, or the electric field intensity at an end-on position there. Now for this, what are the things that are required? we have studied Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is the force of attraction repulsion between 2 point charges separated by distance d, F proportional to q1 q2 by d square. So F is k q1 q2 by d square. This is the force, for mathematical formula for the force between two charges, right? Coulomb's law. Next, electric field intensity. It is the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point in the field there. So we have to derive the formula for the electric field intensity. So we should find the force experienced by unit positive test charge like this. Okay. So coming to the derivation part. Consider a dipole. A dipole, it's a combination of two equal and opposite charges, minus q and plus q point charges. This is minus q and plus q. Let this be at point A and this be at point B. O is the midpoint of the dipole, right? Now they are separated by a distance. Now in the previous video I was telling you, in a dipole, if you have to measure the distance of a point in the field of the dipole, right, from the dipole, so which point you have to consider, whether it is from positive or negative. It is neither positive nor negative. You have to take the midpoint of the negative and positive charge. So you have to measure all the distances from this. So let this charge be at a distance A and this be at a distance A. So both the charges are at equal distance on either sides to the midpoint A each, right? So this is the dipole. Charge, magnitude of the charge on the dipole is q. Magnetic length of the electric length, the length of the dipole, magnitude of the charge is q, and the magnitude of the length of the dipole, it is 2a, right? So the total length of the dipole is 2a. Length of the dipole is 2a. This is a vector. And we have even defined electric dipole moment. Electric dipole moment P bar, we have defined in the previous video. It is the product of either of the charges, any one of the charge. So the product of any one of the charge Q and the length of the dipole. So that is L, that is 2A. So the dipole moment is 2AQ bar. Magnitude of the dipole moment, it's 2AQ, equation 1. So please remember this, because we are going to use this in the coming derivation, right? So therefore, consider electric dipole, a combination of two equal and opposite charges separated by distance 2a. O is the midpoint of the dipole. The charges are at A and B. Negative charge is at point A, positive charge is at point B. Length of the dipole is 2a, right? It is the distance from the negative charge to positive charge. This length, this is length of dipole. It is a vector. The direction of the length of the dipole is from minus charge to plus charge, minus q to plus q. Now that is the direction. And later the dipole moment. So dipole moment, it is the measure of the characteristic property of the dipole. The strength of the dipole is given by electric dipole moment. So therefore dipole moment P bar, it's charge times the length of the magnet, length of the dipole, the magnitude of either of the charge and the distance between the charges. So it's A into 2A. So P bar is 2A bar Q. Magnitude is 2AQ. Let it be like this. Now, our main intention is to find the electric field intensity at a point on the axial line. Imagine a point P on the axial line, where I have to find the electric field intensity. So consider point P at the axial line on the axial line of the electric dipole, right? So here I have to find out the electric field intensity at that point. Now distance of the point from the dipole. So I was telling you, whenever you have to consider the distance in the field of a dipole, you have to take the distance from the midpoint of the dipole. All distances are measured from midpoint. Midpoint, in fact, midpoint is considered to be the origin in the Cartesian system. Suppose if you imagine this in Cartesian system, then this is imagined to be the origin, right? So x-axis, y-axis. X-axis will be oriented along its axial line, and y-axis will be the other line, equatorial line. Okay. So this axial line, all distances must be measured from this. Let the distance of the point P from the center of the magnet be some r. r is the distance there. Okay, so therefore the distance of the point from O, it is OP is equal to r. Now this distance OA is also equal to A. OA is A, OB is also A, and OP is r. Suppose if you take it vectorially, OP is r bar, OB bar is a bar, and OA is minus a bar. Opposite direction. This is in the opposite direction. So therefore, this is the distance of the point P. We are considering a point P on the axial line of the electric dipole, where the distance of it from the center of the dipole is r. Now we have to find the electric field strength at this point. It is also termed as end-on position. This is another way of spelling it. At a point on the axial, or sometimes he'll spell it as end-on position also. So you better remember, at a point on the axial line or on end-on position. So here we have to find the electric field intensity. We know, according to the definition of electric field intensity, it is the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point in the field. So if I have to find the electric field intensity, I have to find the force on the unit positive test charge placed at that point. So I have to find the electric field here. So imagine here a unit positive test charge. I mean 1 coulomb positive test charge, unit positive test charge. Right? Or you can even imagine a charge Q0. Later, applying the definition, force per this thing, you can even get it also. So let us imagine 1 coulomb, or directly we will find the electric field, 1 unit positive test charge, right? 1 coulomb test charge. Now, distance of the charge from the respective charges. Suppose if I find the distance of the charge, distance of this point from the positive charge, you know the distance from the center of the dipole is r, of which this is A. Now the remaining distance of the point P from the positive charge, distance of the charge from the positive charge. Now this is r minus A. R minus A. So distance of the charge point placed at point P, test charge. Let us consider the test charge to be Q0. Right, later we will put it as the force experienced per F by Q0 is electric field. We will divide by Q0. So the charge is Q0. So distance of the charge Q0 from the positive charge is r minus A. Similarly, the respective distance of the charge from the negative charge. Now this distance is r plus A. It is from O, it is r. So this is extra distance A. So this is r plus A. This is r minus A. Right, so this is the configuration, the diagram that is being specified. Now, what is the electric field intensity on this test charge? We know, according to the definition, it is the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point in the field. So we have to calculate the force of the test charge due to these individual charges. First point, force on the test charge, force on the test charge due to the positive charge at B. So force due to positive charge, force due to P. Force on the test charge due to positive charge Fp. So Fp is equal to, we know according to Coulomb's law, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square, the distance square. So the charge of the dipole is Q, and the test charge we have imagined as Q0. Let us take it as Q0, later divide by Q0 for electric field intensity. By the distance between them, the distance between them is r minus A. From the positive charge, this distance is r minus A. So it is r minus A whole square. So the force due to positive charge, F bar, magnitude of the force from the positive charge Fp, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by the distance, that is r minus A whole square. What is the direction of the force? This is positive charge and this is also positive charge. Like charges repel. So this test charge is repelled by the positive charge. So the force due to positive charge Fp will be away like this, the direction. Right? So therefore Fp is 1 by 4 Q0 by r1 in the direction away, in the direction away from the dipole. So in the direction away, direction away from it, away from the dipole. Acha, next, second one. Now, similarly, we have to find the force on this test charge due to the other charge of the dipole. The force on this test charge due to the negative charge. Force due to negative charge Fn. Magnitude of the force due to the negative charge Fn. Now, the distance of the negative charge from the test charge is r plus a. According to Coulomb's law, force is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2. So, that is q into q naught by the distance of the point. It is r plus a whole square. This is the magnitude of the force. But you know, this is negative charge, but the test charge is positive charge. Negative charge attracts positive charge. So on the test charge, the force due to negative charge Fn is in this direction, towards the dipole. It is towards the dipole. Here the direction is away from dipole, and it is towards the dipole. So force due to positive charge is away. It is shown as Fp like this. Force due to this negative charge of the dipole is Fn like this. So the forces are like this. Now from this, now later we have to find the resultant force. Now what is the resultant force? We know resultant force according to we have studied in according to the principle of superposition. The resultant force due to multiple charges on any charge is the vector sum of all the individual charges, taking all the forces simultaneously. So therefore resultant force is equal to the vector sum of Fp and Fn. Vector sum of Fp and Fn, right? So these are the two forces acting on it. So the resultant force is the vector sum of these both. But how do you find the vector resultant? According to Parallelogram law of vectors, if the two vectors a bar and b bar, then r magnitude of the resultant is root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Now here these two forces are in opposite direction. The angle between them is 180. When the angle is 180, two forces are opposite, then the magnitude of the resultant is the subtraction of their individual magnitudes. So the resultant magnitude Fr, the resultant force, it is the subtraction of these both. But first of all, let us make out which is more, which is less. Now consider the force due to positive charge. Now from this test charge, positive charge is at a distance r minus a. Negative charge is at a distance r plus a. Now r minus a is less than r plus a. So positive charge is nearer. We know according to Coulomb's inverse square law, force is inversely proportional to square of the distance. Inverse. As the distance is more, force will be less. If the distance is less, force is more. Now positive charge is nearer to it. So force due to positive charge. Distance is less, so force will be more. So distance of the point charge is less, so force due to positive charge will be more. This will be of more magnitude. Now the negative charge is far away from it. Distance is more, r plus a. Distance more, force will be less. So this will be of less magnitude. So force due to positive charge is of more magnitude and negative charge is of less magnitude. So mod Fp is greater than mod Fn. Force due to positive charge is more when it is on this side. Suppose similarly, if I imagine this test charge on the other side of the axial line, if you extend this line, even this is also the axial line. If the point of concentration P lies on the other side, this side, then it would have been nearer to the negative charge and far away from the positive charge. Then negative charge, force due to negative charge would have been more, and force due to positive charge will be less. Then negative charge dominates, Fn will be greater than Fp then. So we have considered, according to this diagram, magnitude of the force due to positive charge is more than the force due to negative charge. So therefore, magnitude of the resultant force according to the Parallelogram law of vectors, when two vectors in opposite direction, then the magnitude of the resultant is subtraction of their magnitudes. Bigger magnitude minus smaller magnitude. So the resultant force out of these two, bigger magnitude, mod Fp minus mod Fn. Its magnitude of the force due to positive charge minus the magnitude of the force due to negative charge. So therefore, applying this, the resultant force on the test charge, magnitude of the resultant is Fp minus Fn. Fp, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught by the distance is r minus a whole square. Distance is less, this force is more. I mean force due to positive charge is more, this is more. Now force due to negative charge, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught by r plus a whole square. Here the distance is more, r plus a. Since distance is more, the force will be less. Bigger magnitude minus smaller magnitude. Let us simplify. So resultant force, let me take the common things out. Out of these two, the common things are 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught are the common things. Now the remaining, in this term 1 by 4 pi epsilon q naught has come out. So the remaining is r minus a, 1 by r minus a whole square. Minus, even in this one also 1 by 4 pi epsilon q naught has come out of the bracket. So the remaining is 1 by r plus a whole square. This is the resultant, right? Let us simplify. Let us apply mathematics and simplify. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, it's q naught bracket, taking the LCM, r minus a whole square, r plus a whole square. LCM is r minus a whole square times r plus a whole square. Now while taking the LCM, we have to take this term here and that term there. So it's r plus a whole square minus r minus a whole square. Now this is a big arithmetic evaluation. We have to evaluate this. Now to evaluate. Before doing this, let me right. So applying the evaluating the arithmetic part of it. So from this, the magnitude of the resultant force is q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught bracket. Now according to algebra, considering the denominator here, this is r plus a and this is r minus a. We know a plus b into a minus b. A plus b times a minus b is equal to a plus b times a minus b. This is a square minus b square, right? So this is a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. Both the terms are having square, so whole square. Similarly, in the numerator, it is r plus a whole square minus r minus a whole square. Let us expand. Expanding, it is r square plus a square plus 2ra bracket minus r minus a whole square, r square plus a square minus 2ra bracket, whole bracket, by that in the denominator it is r minus a into r plus a whole square. It's r minus a into r plus a whole bracket square. Simplifying, so the resultant force is equal to q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now in the denominator, it is a plus b times a minus b. A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So it is r square minus a square whole square. So in the denominator, this is a plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square, r square minus a square whole square. And in the numerator, it is r square plus a square plus 2ra, multiplying minus into the bracket. It's minus r square minus a square, minus of minus here is plus 2ra, like this. So plus r square minus r square plus a square minus a square cancel. So I can write it as the resultant force on the test charge q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught is denominator r square minus a square whole square, and the numerator is, it is 2ra plus 2ra. It is 2 times 2ra. It is 2 times 2ra. So therefore, plus r square plus minus r square get cancelled, plus a square minus a square get cancelled. It is 2ra times the a square minus r square minus a square whole square. So therefore, putting all the things together, so the magnitude of the resultant force is, this is 2 times, this is 2, right, 2 times q naught into 2RA by R square minus A square whole square. Or let me write it as 2 times 2, it is 4RA. Now still simplifying further, simplifying the thing still further, mod the resultant force Fr is equal to, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Let me write this as small q times, instead of taking 4, let me write 4 as 2 into 2. Small q, 4 is 2 into 2 into A times, so 4 I am splitting it as 2 into 2. So 2AQ I have written here. Another 2 has come into Q naught. So 4 is 2 into 2. Q naught and A into R. By denominator R square minus A square whole square. Now why this way? Now I wanted to get the term 2QA. Why 2QA? We have initially defined the dipole moment. The electric dipole moment of this dipole mod P is 2QA, where the magnitude of charge is Q and the length is 2A. So I shall substitute 2QA as P. So the resultant force on the test charge is 2 times. This is P, the dipole moment of the dipole, Q naught into R by 4 pi epsilon naught R square minus A square. So this is the force, resultant force experienced by a unit positive test charge there.